Hey gang, I have a Tuesday morning editorial for you. It's coming out of Arizona. Um, how many saw the shooting in Boulder, Colorado yesterday? 10 people, unfortunately, lost their lives to the hands of a gunman at a King Super store there in Boulder, Colorado. I watched the whole live stream on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. I think it's ZFG. I believe it used to be Pikes Peak, or maybe that's his new channel. But I watched the whole thing from the moment he went live. It was crazy. It was whack. So I'm kind of doing this one out of Arizona instead of the Boulder, Colorado one. The Boulder, Colorado one would just be more news on this channel, and I just don't want. It's been covered so much by so many outlets. I just don't want to be one of those who chimes in and gives you the same information. But not only that, the format of my morning editorials, this one fit the format a little more. It's about a cop that I think is a dirty cop, a corrupt cop, a bully, somebody with anger management issues. It's a bad cop. It's a bad cop. And the city and the police department are defending this guy. Oh yeah, you're going to find out about it. Right here, right now. ABC15.com gives us this story. The city of Scottsdale, Arizona is defending itself against a civil rights lawsuit after a 2020 traffic stop that should have resulted in a simple traffic ticket but escalated to a violent beating. Andy Dominguez, 46 of Tempe, filed the lawsuit in January 2021. He had dropped something off at one job site and was in a hurry to get to another job when Scottsdale police officer Daniel Kohler pulled him over. Kohler claimed Andy had appeared to be evading officers with his driving before the traffic stop.
Go ahead and step out of the car.
This is private property.
Go ahead and step out.
Do not touch me.
Get out of the car.
Do not touch me.
Get out of the car. I'm going to rip you out of the car.
Tonight, the driver of the car sharing his story exclusively with ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius. A warning, the video in this story may not be appropriate for all viewers.
45-year-old security guard Andy Dominguez was in a hurry to get to work when Scottsdale police officer Daniel Kohler pulled him over in January 2020.
I saw you when I made my U-turn.
Right.
I know I didn't break any laws, so I'm curious of what
you know that you didn't break any laws? So are you saying that I'm violating your rights right now?
I noticed that he was trying to provoke me.
Andy gets out his license and insurance card.
The car's registered to my mom's name.
Okay.
And so
you're a security guard, but you have an attitude towards the police, but you have almost the same job as we do.
You better lose your attitude, okay?
Okay.
I don't even
go ahead and step out of the car.
Andy, with his hands up, argues against getting out of the car. Lawyers for the city of Scottsdale later argued that makes him at fault for the injuries the officers later inflict. Officers also said that Andy acted like he was trying to evade them prior to the traffic stop, and that when he reached suddenly into the car here, that Officer Kohler thought he was going for a gun.
Mother car right now. I'm going to hurt you if you don't get out of the car right now. What the
What are you doing?
Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now.
You're hitting me.
Oh
my God.
Officer Kohler throws Andy to the ground. Another officer kneels on his legs. Andy's nose is broken. He's bruised and bleeding from the face, calling bystanders to intervene.
Help! Help me!
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get totally beat, so I put my hands in front of my face and tried to cover.
The level of force used is completely outrageous. To see him lifted up, body slammed while he's holding his insurance card, it just screams out that this is wrong.
Andy's filed a federal lawsuit alleging assault and battery against the officers, adding they did not have probable cause to arrest him.
I got the insurance right here.
Stop
Ow!
fighting. Stop resisting right now. Stop resisting.
You're hurting me. I done got nothing in my
I'm
hand.
going to tase you.
Don't tase me.
I'm going to tase you.
Don't. I don't have any weapons.
Afterward, Officer Kohler tells Andy
My safety's number one, man.
Andy was taken to the hospital and later charged with multiple crimes, including resisting arrest and assault. Andy's lawyer says that's not unusual in this kind of case.
When officers use force like this, they charge the individual they used force against with resisting arrest or assaulting an officer. and then that person has to fight these charges.
Ultimately, the prosecutor dropped the entire criminal case against Andy, except for one traffic ticket, but he's still experiencing consequences because armed security guards face strict state licensing rules.
They suspended my arm card and I lost my job.
I hope you have your video camera on.
It is.
Andy thinks Officer Kohler also needs a job change.
That man should not be a police officer on the streets of Scottsdale or anywhere.
But Officer Kohler is still on the Scottsdale City payroll. While he was counseled about his unprofessional language and tone, the police department found both officers' use of force was reasonable based on the totality of the circumstances.
So what gets me is it cracks me up how these city spokesmen and these police spokespersons and these police chiefs kind of waffle, you know, when they say, well, we counseled him on his unprofessional language. We counseled him on the tone of his voice. But the use of force was reasonable based on the totality. So the guy's dropping F-bombs and cussing you out and dropping an elbow on your head, or he didn't drop an elbow, but you know what I'm talking about, just beating the hell out of you. Well, you know, the use of force, he had to do that. He just didn't have to talk like that while he was doing it. The unprofessional language and tone drove the anger and the unprofessional beating that this guy took from this cop. Don't you get it? It's like, well, the use of force was okay, but you just don't talk that way when you're beating someone up. I mean, he broke the guy's nose in the car. He just literally got to whoop somebody and beat somebody, and the city and the police department go, don't drop no F-bombs. You know, and the guy had his insurance card and his driver's license up the whole time, as you saw in the video. He was trying to hand the stuff to him. And you know why they yell, stop resisting, stop resisting? You know why they yell that, right? Especially when they have their body cameras on. Because it, to them, it justifies beating the hell out of somebody. It justifies torquing the wrist. Hey, stop resisting. Huh? You're resisting? Yeah, you're resisting because you're about to break my wrist. I'm resisting because you're about to break my wrist. But that's what they do. They love doing that. They want to get you to resist so they can throw you on the ground and beat the hell out of you and go, he was resisting. We're going to charge you with resisting. That's why they do that. They know there's certain things they can yell on their body camera and go, yeah, he was resisting, dude. Why? Because you said so. Not that he was resisting, just that the police officer said so. And that's what this is a case of. Now people say, well, they had their body cameras on. We got video. But it doesn't tell the whole story. Well, it does tell some of the story. The guy had his insurance card and his driver's license. All the cop had to do was go, thank you, and walk back to his car. That's all he had to do. But he wanted him to get out of the car because the guy told him, you need to lose your attitude. Oh, you going to tell me that? I'm a cop, man. You don't talk to me like that, son. I'm your daddy. That's the cop's problem. How many people has he assaulted? How many people has he beat the hell out of? And the city and the police department have said, he's just doing his job, man. Come on, get a guy a break. But his job is to beat the crap out of people on the street? Well, I guess it is because he's a cop. Yeah. Well, where was my thinking at? What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch. Watching Leos, that's law enforcement officers to include those with anger management problems that beat the hell out of people in Arizona and from coast to coast.